Good afternoon. Well, after a lot of rain, many days of it now, there's a dry spell. Oh, I'm knackered. I've got almost 25 kilos on my back, and as much as I've carried that sort of weight in the past plenty of times, A, I'm getting older, and B, when it's this slippery underfoot, it just makes everything so much harder. And of course, I'm going uphill. Today's camp might be a bit muddy. We've got the tail end of a storm coming in. It might be a bit wet. Seeing what shelter I've brought. Let's hope it's not too wet. I'll see you at camp. They're everywhere. You can tell it's been mild but wet. Good fungus weather. Right, after a very wet, stodgy and slippery walk in, I've made it to the camping area. Now, today's equipment. I've got the British Army bag purely because the German one isn't quite as big and I couldn't get all my stuff in it, which was a shame. I wanted to go full Flecktarn, but it just is what it is. But I've gone with the shirt. And my wet weather jacket, because it's meant to be horrendous later, which will give you a clue to what I'm using. Ooh. One. And number two, that canvas. That's why my bag was so heavy. Fruity. Right, as you can see, German pup tent, but not closed up. Got the front up, sort of baker style. The pup tent in its normal setup is okay, but it's a bit on the tight side, to be honest. And because the weather's not brilliant, I thought if I have the front up, I can put my chair underneath and that sort of thing without taking it all apart, my chair and my bag, you know. So I've got extra room by doing this. Trouble is with the canvas, it's a lot of weight. I've got some sag here. If we do get heavy rain, of course it will puddle here and eventually come through. So probably last thing at night I'll bring my chair in. Obviously I'll be sleeping further back, and I'll have my chair here as an extra prop. That should work. I haven't used this for a while, quite looking forward to it. And now that's bed set up. Pretty simple really, just got that piece of ground sheet on the floor because it is horrible wet and muddy. Sleep mat, I've used a British Army sleeping bag, but I have put the German cover over it. It's not a genuine one, it's a rip-off one, but at least it's the right colour. And I don't really need it for insulation or anything like that. It's just because it's quite an opening setup. I think you can just about see to the left there. My toes will be very close to that opening, sort of like V in the setup. I think I'll be fine, but I don't want to get the sleeping bag all bloody wet and have the hassle of drying it. So cover over the top just in case. Well, I thought you might be interested in what Mark's sleeping in tonight. It's a thing, let's put it that way. We think the idea is it's almost like a freestanding bug net type thing. It's designed to go on top of a single bed, but there's no reason why I couldn't use it on the floor, of course. And it's just got a lightweight collapsible frame which is put together, looks like one of the washing areas, and this slips over it, bugging it all round with doors, and he's just put his tarp over the top of it. No reason why it won't work perfectly fine in this sort of setting, but it's a bit different. Right, as you can probably see, there's a bit of a lash up shelter behind me. It's a bit of a lash up because I used most of my equipment for setting up my proper accommodation. All I had left was one line and one bungee, so that was it. I don't think we're going to need it. Not this afternoon, this evening should be fine, but the weather is coming in. It's the tail end of that storm that hit America. It's obviously nothing like they had it, but it's bringing a lot of rain and wind. Yellow weather warning for some parts of the coast. So yeah, it could be a bit mucky in the morning. So it's going to be a place that I can basically just throw all my stuff under for packing in the morning. With any luck, I won't get too wet. Well, as I'm sure you've seen, we've gathered some wood. We've cut some. There's still plenty more to cut yet, but we've made a start on that. But the next mission before we go too far is we've got to find some kindling from somewhere. And it's just been so wet this last few, well, all month, isn't it really? It's not just like the last few days. It's getting harder and harder to find, you know, small twigs that are dry. So I'm going to probably head up into the pine section and see what I can find up in there, because it's a bit denser, it doesn't get as wet. Hopefully I'll be able to find something. So yeah, having a quick brew, and then that'll be the next little mission.
I know one thing, we will need plenty of dry sticks.
We'd need plenty of everything to just get stuff going, won't we?
Yeah.
It's bloody awful.
Yeah. Still, never mind.
I'll tell you what, it's a good job that my camera's not on wide angle. Dingo's having a dump over there.
Another one.
Just what you need in the middle of your video.
Just curling one out.
what I'm looking for in this pine plantation is these little bits that fell from higher up in rough weather and got hooked up in the lower branches. They're nice and dead, but of course they've been hung up off the floor so they haven't got wet. That should get us started, hopefully. Well, it's starting to get dark. It's only bloody 6 o'clock, but the nights are really drawing in, so it's time to fish out the head torch. I've got the Army Tech sort of multi-purpose torch again. Second week of camping with this. So far, I really like it. I think in the week I'll do a video about this. Just a short one going over the basics, what I like and what I don't like. Look out for that. Right, the little stove's lit. Time to get dinner on. I've got sausage casserole for tonight. Taken a while for that little stove to bloom because I was burning the wrong thing in it last weekend and it's clogged up a lot of the little holes. Still, I forgot, never mind. Let's stick that in the pot. Some water in. That'll do. Right. Oh, it's a bit fucking hot. Glove on.
A bit hot, Aaron.
Burning my fingers. That's dinner heated up. Time for this. It's a bit hot. Hello, Dingo. Yeah, can you smell it?
I would love.
Sausage casserole.
Oh yeah, I can smell it from here. I can smell it over my chicken.
Right, bedtime. Mark's already been in bed half hour or so, but it's getting quite chilly now. It's about 10:30, something like that. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. It's about 7 o'clock. I think Mark's still asleep. But yeah, I'm awake because I want to pack up in reasonable time and be out here probably by 9:30, something like that, because that's when the worst of the weather's meant to come. So up a little bit early. But, oh, no, it's gone out again. So yeah, just after 7. Time to make a coffee and think about doing some packing as soon as it gets the light. Don't want to struggle in the dark. Right, that's me packed just in time because the weather is changing rapidly and I didn't want to have to dry all that canvas out. Because I was in a hurry, I've packed the bag a bit quick, and also that British Army bag is now fully lofted up. Look how much space it's taking up. The bag was sort of like down here when I came in, but all this down to about here is all sleeping bag. Never mind, it's packed, it's going to stay dry. Let's get out of here. I'll see you on the next video. Well, I think we're packed up just in time. Sky's going very grey, wind's got up. It's the beginning of that weather front coming in. So hopefully I'll be able to get back to the car dry. Sadly, as much as I enjoyed this camp, the one thing that I missed, or at least missed filming for you, the stag he's in the house. Obviously this time of year, breeding season for the deer, there's fallow deer in here, but all females. The stag doesn't live here. I'm not quite sure where he comes from, but he turns up this time of year each year. And just at the back of the camp, he was obviously there with his females, and whether the noise we made or whatever sort of tipped him off, I don't know. But just after I'd finished packing and did my final piece of camera, he started bellowing. Sadly I'd already put the camera away and I just couldn't get it on film. But it's so rare, certainly for me here, that I hear that. For the first second or two, it's actually quite shocking. It's so deep and it's so loud, but after a few seconds and the brain caught up and I worked out what it was, it just made me smile. Nice that he's here, so hopefully next year we'll have some youngsters in here as well. Right, that is really in this time. I'll see you probably next week, if I don't do something during the week. Okay then, bye.